I buried my husband on a drizzly Tuesday in October, his casket lowered into the frozen Chicago earth while I stood there numb, whispering vows of eternal love to a man who'd been ripped from me by a single, senseless bullet. By Friday, I was staring at my reflection in a cracked motel mirror, but the face looking back wasn't mine. It was his Jake's, the golden boy from high school who'd always gotten away with everything, his smug grin twisted into my own horrified scream. And in that stolen skin, I made my first kill, not with a gun, but with a whispered lie that would unravel empires, because forgiveness? That's for the living. Revenge is for the ghosts. It started 6 months before the funeral, back when life still felt like a rom-com montage. Finley and Mark, high school sweethearts turned power couple in the Windy City. I was a junior associate at a boutique law firm, grinding through depositions and dreaming of partnership. Mark ran a tech startup, some app that promised to revolutionize urban farming but mostly funneled VC money into craft beer Fridays. We had the brownstone in Lincoln Park, the rescue mutt named Whiskey, and weekend brunches at Wildberry where we'd laugh about how we'd beat the odds. 2 kids from the south side suburbs, making it big. But cracks had been forming, hairline fractures I ignored, because love's a hell of a blindfold. Mark's late nights at the office stretched into dawn, his phone buzzing with texts he dismissed as investor bullshit. I chalked it up to stress, poured him extra scotch, and buried my doubts under takeout tie. Then came the anonymous email, forwarded from an burner account, a grainy photo of Mark in a hotel bar downtown, arm around a woman with razor-sharp cheekbones and a laugh that could cut glass. Her name was Elena Voss, 32, VP at Apex Dynamics, a shadowy conglomerate that owned half the city's surveillance tech. The kind of firm that made headlines for innovative data solutions but whispered rumors about black ops and off-the-books deals. I confronted him that night, the email printed out like a death warrant on our kitchen island. "Who's she, Mark? And don't gaslight me. I've seen enough divorce filings to know when a man's lying." He crumbled like wet cardboard, tears streaming as he swore it was one mistake, a conference hookup fueled by too much bourbon. Elena meant nothing. He loved me, our life, everything. I believed him because I wanted to, because the alternative was dismantling a decade of shared dreams. We went to couples therapy in Wicker Park, the kind with throw pillows and essential oils, and for a while, it worked. Or so I thought. The secret Elena carried wasn't just an affair, it was a bomb ticking under my entire world. Apex wasn't content with data. They were dabbling in neural tech, experimental implants for enhanced cognition, funded by DARPA grants and private billionaires who saw soldiers as upgradable hardware. Mark's startup? A front. He'd been laundering code through it, embedding backdoors into city smart grids for Elena's team. One night, during a hackathon, a test glitch fried a server farm in the loop, exposing user data to the dark web. Identities stolen, fortunes wiped. Chaos that pinned the blame on a low-level coder named Tomas Ruiz, a Mexican immigrant I defended pro bono 2 years back. Tomas took the fall, 5 years in Statesville for cyber fraud, his family deported while he rotted. I didn't know any of this until after the swap. That's the part that still claws at me in the dead of night. The body switch, courtesy of Apex's crown jewel, Project Echo. Elena's baby, a neural bridge that could echo consciousness across bodies via electromagnetic pulses. Officially, it was for paraplegics, restoring mobility. Unofficially, a playground for the elite to slip into new skins, evade justice, chase thrills. Mark found out during their fling. Elena demoed it on him one drunken night in her penthouse, swapping him into a lab rat's body for kicks. He was hooked, addicted to the god complex. When the glitch hit, he panicked, begged Elena to fix it. She did, but not without cost, framed Tomas, or she'd expose him. He did, and the guilt ate him alive. But Elena? She thrived on it. Power like hers didn't come from boardrooms. It came from puppeteering lives. Daughter of a disgraced senator, she'd clawed her way up Apex by any means, blackmail, bribes, bedsheets. Her latest play, a merger with a biotech rival that would monopolize neural tech nationwide. Mark was her pawn until he grew a conscience, threatening to whistleblow. So she silenced him. Not with a bullet, too messy, but with echo. She lured him to a reconciliation at her Gold Coast loft, spiked his drink with a neural accelerator, and initiated the swap. His mind into a vagrant named Harlan, dying in an alley from exposure.
Mean it?
She targeted me next, jealous of the life she couldn't steal outright. A tracker in Mark's phone led her goons to our brownstone. They tasered me during my morning run in Grant Park, dragged me to a black site clinic under the guise of a wellness retreat. Waking up in Jake's body was like drowning in someone else's skin. Jake Harlan, no relation to the vagrant, just cruel irony, was Mark's old frat brother, the trust fund asshole who'd coasted through Northwestern on daddy's oil money, now a mid-level exec at Apex poaching talent for Elena. 6'2", broad-shouldered, with a jawline that screamed privilege and a tattoo of a coiled serpent on his pec from some Cancun bender. I flexed his fingers, felt the unfamiliar weight of his watch, a Rolex that cost more than my annual salary, and retched into the clinic's sink. The techs, white-coated drones with NDAs tattooed on their soles, monitored from glass booths, murmuring about integration protocols. Elena appeared on a screen, her smile a scalpel. "Welcome to the other side, Finley. Consider this your upgrade. Mark's mind is elsewhere. Behave, and maybe you'll get your body back. Cross me, and you'll wake up as roadkill." They release me into Jake's life. His sleek condo in River North, his Audi with heated seats, his Rolodex of sycophants. But I wasn't playing house. Rage was my compass, sharp and unyielding. First order, reconnaissance. I rifled Jake's desk, found encrypted drives with echo schematics, emails linking Elena to the glitch, and a memo on contingency swaps for whistleblowers. Mark's murder wasn't random, it was premeditated erasure. Harlan's body, discarded like trash, his consciousness flickering out in a cardboard box under the L tracks. My body? Elena inhabited it now, parading as me at the firm, charming partners, signing my name on deals that would bury Tomas deeper. The betrayal cut deepest from Mark. He'd confessed the affair but hidden the tech, the frame-up, the deals with devils. I defended Tomas, believed in his innocence, poured my savings into appeals, only to learn my husband had authored his ruin. For what? A shot at Elena's bed and her billions? It twisted something primal in me, a South Side grit I'd softened for him. Now, in Jake's borrowed brawn, I honed it into a weapon. My first move was subtle, a ghost in the machine. Posing as Jake at Apex's holiday mixer in the Aeon Center, tuxedo stiff, champagne flute in hand, I cornered Elena's assistant, a mousy kid named Ravi with eyes like a kicked puppy. Heard about the Ruiz appeal. I drawled in Jake's laconic drawl, all Illinois vowels stretched lazy. Boss lady's got a soft spot for underdogs, right? Ravi blanched, spilled like cheap Merlot, Elena's private server, password protected, but crackable with Jake's admin access. That night, in Jake's king bed with silk sheets that chafed my soul, I hacked in, lines of code blurring as I siphoned files on Project Echo, victim logs, swapped transcripts. One entry gutted me. Mark's final plea, recorded mid-transfer. Finley.
Sorry.
Love you. Don't let her win. Tears came then, hot and foreign in Jake's throat. But grief is fuel. I reached out to Tomas's sister, Maria, through a burner app, anonymous texts from a ghost account. Your brother's clean. Evidence incoming. Burn it all. She didn't reply, but I knew she'd fight. I'd seen that fire in her during the trial. Next, I targeted Elena's inner circle. Her CFO, a silver fox named Harlan, yes, same last name, distant cousin, was skimming merger funds. I planted digital breadcrumbs leading back to him, anonymous tips to the SEC disguised as Jake's concerned whistle. By New Year's, feds were circling, and Elena was raging in board meetings, her perfect facade cracking like thin ice. But power like hers doesn't fold easy. She summoned Jake to her office overlooking Lake Michigan, waves churning gray under a steel sky. In my body, my curves, my auburn hair, she lounged like a queen, legs crossed in my favorite pencil skirt. "You're slipping, Harlan," she purred, voice mine but laced with venom. Up close, the swap's toll showed. Faint neural scars, eyes too sharp, like a wolf in sheep's clothing. I played dumb, Jake's cocky grin masking my fury. "Just doing my job, boss." "What's eating you?" She leaned in, breath minty with malice. "I know it's you, Finley." Echo leaves echoes, synaptic ghosts. "You're good, but not that good. Drop the games, or I'll swap you into something worse. A junkie in Cabrini Green, maybe. Watch your life burn from the gutter." The threat hung, but it ignited me. That night, I made my first truly controversial call. Leverage the affair. I seduced Ravi. Not with Jake's charm, but calculated whispers and a dive bar off division, shots of Malort burning down the lies. He cracked wider, confessed Elena's endgame. A black-tie gala at the Art Institute, where she'd demo a sanitized Echo to senators and CEOs, sealing the merger and burying the glitches forever. Twist. She'd swap a volunteer live, a homeless vet for a show of restoration. Propaganda with a body count. I couldn't let it slide. Infiltrating the gala meant going deep undercover, but Jake's invite was golden. I spent weeks prepping. Voice coaching to deepen the drawl, mannerism studied from his Instagram, bro hugs, backslaps, that infuriating wink. Mark's ghost haunted me, his cologne still on Jake's closet shelves, a reminder of the man I'd loved and lost to his own cowardice. Was I avenging him, or just clawing back my skin? The line blurred, ethics fraying like old denim. As the gala loomed, tension coiled tighter than a spring in a .45. Maria finally responded. A coded thanks, files forwarded to a journalist at the Tribune. Leaks were brewing, but Elena's machine was greased. PR spins, payoffs, NDAs thicker than fog off the lake. My plan crystallized in a fever dream. Crash the demo, expose the swap midair, force Elena to confront the monster in my mirror. But revenge demands sacrifice. I'd have to initiate a counterswap, risking Jake's mind. Trapped in limbo, a digital purgatory on Apex servers. Was it murder? Or justice for a man who'd enabled hell? The night arrived, snow flurrying like confetti from hell. The Art Institute's grand hall glittered, chandeliers dripping light, air heavy with Chanel and cigar smoke. I navigated in Jake's tailored Tom Ford, schmoozing senators with handshakes that hid trembling fists. Elena held court center stage, radiant in my body, emerald gown hugging curves I'd mourned in gym mirrors. "Ladies and gentlemen," she intoned, my voice honeyed. "Tonight, we bridge the unbridgeable. Project Echo, humanity's next evolution." The volunteer shuffled in, a vet named Curtis, grizzled beard masking PTSD scars. Elena's techs prepped the neural rig, a sleek helmet humming with promise. Cameras rolled, flashes popped. My heart, Jake's heart, thundered as I slipped backstage, Ravi's stolen keycard burning in my palm. The control booth was a nerve center, screens flickering with brainwave readies, Elena's override code blinking like a dare. I patched in, fingers flying over keys, initiating the hijack. Not to stop the demo, to pervert it. As Elena activated, Curtis's eyes glazed, his mind leaping into a proxy body, a polished actor prepped for the show. But I rerouted the echo, funneling Elena's consciousness into flux. Her scream echoed through the hall, my voice warping into static. Panic rippled, guests murmuring, security twitching. On the main screen, my hack bloomed, files cascading. Tomas's frame up, Mark's murder log, swap victim tallies. "This isn't restoration," my pre-recorded voice boomed, Finley's timbre raw and real. "It's theft. Lives stolen for profit. Elena Voss killed my husband. She's wearing my skin." Chaos erupted, suits scattering, phones dialing 911. Elena clawed at the helmet, my face contorting in terror. I burst from the booth, Jake's bulk parting the crowd like Moses at the Red Sea. Up close, our eyes locked, hers wide with betrayal, mine cold with reckoning. "Finley," she gasped, voice cracking. "You wouldn't. But I would." With a final keystroke, I locked the swap, her mind tumbling into Curtis's shell, his into oblivion. Controversial? Hell yes. A life for lives, a thief stripped bare. Feds swarmed by dawn, Apex crumbling under indictments. Maria got Tomas paroled, headlines screaming, neural nightmare exposed. But the twist? As Elena thrashed in custody, Curtis's body rejecting the foreign mind, she spat the truth. Mark hadn't been coerced. He'd volunteered the frame-up, eager for Apex's inner circle, the swaps as perks. The affair? His idea, to bind her closer. I'd taken the fall not just for Tomas, but because Mark dosed me himself. Our reconciliation, wine laced with the accelerator, his kiss goodbye as he initiated my swap. Elena was the enabler, but he was the architect. My husband, the man I'd buried, had betrayed me deepest, trading my body for his ambition. In the aftermath, I reclaimed my skin, neural scars fading like bad tattoos. Jake's mind? I let it fade, mercy, or erasure. The courts called it self-defense. Therapists called it trauma. I walk Chicago's streets now, free but fractured, wondering if vengeance healed or hollowed me. Elena rots in Supermax, Curtis's ghost haunting her dreams. Mark's grave? I visit sometimes, pour scotch on the dirt, and whisper, "You got what you deserved." But did I? That's the debate that lingers, sharp as winter wind. Justice, or just another swap in the game of souls. The weeks post-gala blurred into a fever of depositions and detox. Reclaiming my body wasn't a simple unzip. Echoes' tendrils lingered, phantom itches where Jake's muscles had bulged, echoes of his baritone rumbling in my chest. The feds, stiff suits from the Chicago field office, grilled me in a windowless room smelling of burnt coffee and bureaucracy. "Ms. McAllister," the lead agent drawled, his tie a noose of red stripes, "you admit to unauthorized access, neural tampering, and, well, let's call it consciousness displacement. That's a felony stack higher than the Willis Tower." I leaned back, legs crossed in slacks that finally fit, and met his gaze with the steel I'd forged in Jake's fire. "Agent Reyes, I was defending myself. Elena Voss murdered my husband, stole my identity, and ran a human trafficking ring in brains. You want the full server dump? It's got congressmen, CEOs, your boss's boss." He blinked, then cracked a smile like cracking ice. "Touché. But the Harlan swap, Jake's mind. You pulled a plug." My throat tightened, the memory of fresh bruise. Jake hadn't been innocent. He'd greenlit half of Apex's dirt, poached talent with NDAs that silent screams. But erasing him? That was the line I'd towed, then leaped over. "He was collateral," I said flatly. "A cog in her machine. If I'd left him, Elena would have rebooted the whole op from his shell." Reyes nodded, scribbling notes, but his eyes said doubt. Controversy brewed in leaks to the Sun-Times. Vigilante justice or cyber vendetta? Pundits on Fox and CNN dissected it. Me as feminist icon or Frankenstein's monster, Elena as villainous or fall guy for big tech. Maria Ruiz became my anchor, her West Side apartment a sanctuary of tamales and Torah scrolls, her abuela's recipes mingling with faded photos of Tomas grinning in Little League. "You gave him back his name, Finley," she said one rainy afternoon, pressing a mug of Atoll into my hands. Steam curled like secrets. But at what cost? Tomas, out on bond pending retrial, hugged me like a brother lost and found. Gaunt from prison chow, but his eyes burned with the same defiance I'd championed. "I knew it wasn't you behind it," he murmured. "Mark's alibis were too clean. But you walked through fire." We didn't talk swaps. Some horrors stay buried. Instead, we plotted his civil suit against Apex, a class action bomb that would bankrupt the beast. But ghosts don't stay down. Elena's lawyers, sharks from Kirkland and Ellis, filed countersuits, painting her as a scapegoat for Mark's rogue innovations. Depositions dragged me back to the black site clinic, sterile halls echoing with my heels. Techs testified under immunity, voices flat as they detailed the swaps. Harlan the vagrant, first test subject, his mind scattered like pixels in a crash. Curtis the vet collateral in my revenge. And Jake. Oh, Jake. His neural map, frozen mid-transfer, a digital cryogenics I alone held the key to. You could have saved him, Elena's counsel sneered, a Botoxed harpy in pearls. Instead, you played God. The courtroom in the Dirksen building buzzed, jurors wide-eyed, reporters tweeting feverishly. I fired back, voice steady. God?
No.
Just a wife who lost everything to your client's vanity project. The real tension simmered in solitude. Nights in my brownstone, emptied of Mark's flannel shirts, whiskey rehomed with Maria, I paced, whiskey burning neat. Dreams bled boundaries. Jake's hands on Elena's throat, Mark's laugh echoing in the swap chamber. Was the betrayal his alone, or had I ignored signs? The late logins, the whispered calls, the way he'd flinch at Tomas's name. I'd chosen love over scrutiny, and it cost me my skin. Power's allure whispered too, echoes remnants in my veins, a faint buzz urging me to dive back in, tweak a rival's mind for a promotion, silence a foe with synaptic static. I resisted, but the temptation lingered, dark as the Chicago River at midnight. Ravi surfaced then, a lifeline or a landmine. He texted from Vancouver, fled with a duffel and dreads died hasty. Finley, need to talk. Elena's not the end. There's deeper. We met in a Tim Hortons knockoff off Michigan Avenue, him jittery over double-doubles, me nursing black coffee like it was absolution. The merger, he spilled, voice a hiss. It wasn't just biotech. DARPA weaponized swaps for spec ops. Infiltrate enemies, extract intel, leave the husk behind. Mark pitched it.
Elena executed.
My gut twisted. Mark, my Mark, architect of mind rape for Uncle Sam? Ravi slid a thumb drive across the Formica, blueprints for Echo 2.0, dormant in a Nevada bunker. They're rebooting. Post-scandal cleanup. Your exposure bought time, but not enough. The drive home, snow-slick streets mirroring my skid, I waited. Walk away, let the feds handle the fallout. Rebuild as Finley 2.0, therapy, maybe a book deal, the American dream repackaged. Or dive deeper. Become the monster I hunted. Controversial choice. Arm Maria's activists with a drive, leak to WikiLeaks, ignite a firestorm that could topple administrations. But risk? Elena's remnants, loyalists in Apex's ashes, hunting me, swaps in the shadows.
It shows 4.
Uploaded anonymously from a VPN in a Logan Square laundromat, the files hit the net like napalm. Echo exposed. U.S. mind control program. Protests erupted. Occupy Wall Street 2.0, but with neural nets and nooses for Tech Brothers Congress grilled generals. Elena, from her cell, screamed betrayal on CNN, my face twisted in orange jumpsuit fury. Yet the strain mounted, tension a wire garroting slow. Tomas's retrial loomed, evidence mounting but Elena's machine grinding appeals. I testified, voice cracking on Mark's complicity. He dosed me himself in our bed. For power. For her. Jurors wept. The judge banged gavel like thunder. Acquittal came swift, Tomas free, but victory tasted ash. That night, alone with whiskey's ghost, I cracked, sobbing into pillows that still smelled of Mark's aftershave. Revenge wasn't catharsis. It was a mirror, reflecting my fractures. Had I become Elena, swapping morals for might? The plot thickened with a call from Reyes. McAllister, we've got a lead on your husbands elsewhere. Backup neural echo, stashed in a cloud vault. Elena's insurance. My pulse spiked. Hope a traitor. Could I resurrect him? Pull Mark's mind from the ether. Forgive in flesh? Or delete? Final severance? The decision loomed, dark as an eclipse, as Nevada whispers grew. Echo 2.0 stirring, my name on hit lists. Tension peaked in a safe house, feds at the door, drive humming in my laptop. Click save, or delete forever. The safe house squatted in Pilsen, a brick bunker disguised as a muraled artist loft, graffiti saints watching over cots and Kevlar vests. Reyes paced, his Glock a bulge under his windbreaker. while I hunched over the laptop, screen glow carving shadows on my face. The vault was a fortress, Apex's quantum encryption, laced with biometric traps. One wrong poke, it wipes, he warned, breath fogging the chill air. Or worse, triggers a trace. Elena's got spiders everywhere. I nodded, fingers ghosting keys, Jake's muscle memory lending precision. Mark's echo pulsed there, a digital heartbeat, faint brainwaves from the swap's brink, preserved like a fly in amber. Cracking it took hours, sweat beading despite the draft. Layers peeled, dummy files of cat videos, Elena's sick humor, then the core, a waveform of his last thoughts looping. Finley. Fix it.
Love.
My chest caved, tears blurring code. He's alive, I whispered, voice raw. Reyes clapped my shoulder, gruff Midwestern comfort. Sort of. Neural limbo, aware but anchored. Like coma with cable. Options branched. Extract to a proxy body, risk rejection and madness. Integrate back to mine. Overwrite scars, or mercy kill, grant peace. The controversial hung heaviest. Resurrect the betrayer, or bury him proper. I chose extraction, a gamble wrapped in grief. Apex's archives yielded candidates, dormant husks from failed tests, bodies in cold storage, legally dead but viable. I picked Lena, a car crash Vic from 23, mid-30s, blonde and unscarred, her family long-settled suits. It's not possession, I told myself, prepping the rig in a pop-up lab Reyes pulled strings for, some ex-DARPA defector's garage in Berwyn. Redemption arc. But doubt not, was this love or leverage? Mark Reborn could testify, seal Elena's fate, but what if his first words damned me too? The transfer hummed like a hive, my body strapped parallel to the gurney, neural bridge arcing blue. Waves crashed, his mind flooding mine first, a torrent of regret. The glitch. I covered for her.
Thought it'd buy us in.
Forgive? Then snap. Lena's eyes fluttered, brown irises sharpening to Mark's hazel stare. He gasped, voice a stranger soprano. Finn? Holy shit.
I'm.
Her. I unstrapped, hands shaking as I helped him sit, robe slipping on unfamiliar curves. You're safe. I lied, throat tight. We talked till dawn, halting confessions over vending machine coffee. The frame-up, desperation for seed money, Elena's honey trap. The swap, his plan to fake death, start fresh with her, me collateral in his escape. I chickened, he admitted, tears carving tracks on Lena's cheeks. Called it off mid-transfer. She flipped the script, sent me to Harlan, you to Jake. Betrayal layered deeper, but so did remorse. He begged to help, testify, dismantle the remnants. I agreed, wary as a cat in traffic. We holed up, prepping for the merger's ghost. Echo 2.0, rebranded as SynaptiLink, under a shell corp in Delaware. Leaks had stalled it, but whispers from Ravi's network pointed to a summit in Vegas, billionaires and brass, pitching weaponized minds over blackjack. We crash it, Mark said, voice gaining grit despite the body. Expose live, like you did the gala. Tension ratcheted, feds balked at vigilante redux, but I smelled the hook, Reyes feeding intel, maybe playing us for bait. Vegas hit like a fever dream. Neon veins pulsing on the strip, air thick with desperation and Davidoff. We checked into the Bellagio under aliases, me as a venture scout, Mark as my assistant, Lena's lithe frame in pencil skirts a disguise that twisted my gut. The summit lurked underground, literal. A bunker beneath the Wynn, accessed via private elevator. NDAs signed in blood. Our Jake's old contacts, greased with pilfered patents. Schmoozing commenced, handshakes with spooks in Brioni, coy smiles at oligarchs with Rolex subs Mark shown, his sales patter intact, pitching ethical neural aids, while I scanned for the ringleader. Victor Kane, Elena's silent partner, a reclusive tech messiah who'd funded the original glitch. Kane emerged poolside at a networking brunch, 60-ish, silver mane, eyes like laser sights behind aviators. He clocked us instant, smile a shark's flash. Harlan stand-in? Elena spoke highly before the mess. I froze, but Mark covered, Lena's laugh tinkling false. Finley McAllister, actually. Heard your synapty link could rewrite the battlefield. Hook said. He invited us to the demo, a private viewing in the bunker. Tension coiled visceral, guards with earpieces, air humming with hidden tech. The chamber was a cathedral of chrome. Volunteers strapped, screens blooming brain maps. Kane monologued, voice velvet over venom. Not swaps, symbiosis. Upload the elite, download the expendable. Wars won without widows. Our play, mid-demo, hack the feed, broadcast Mark's testimony overlaid with echo files. But Kane anticipated, jammers whined, my wrist rig sparking dead. Cute, he drawled, goons materializing. Voss warned me about ghosts. They lunged, chaos ballet, Mark flipping a gurney into knees, me channeling Jake's brawn to deck a brute. Alarms wailed, sprinklers drenching us in recycled sin. We bolted corridors, Kane's laughter echoing. You think this ends me? Echoes in the ether now. Open source for the highest bidder. Surfacing in the casino din, soaked and sirens screaming, we vanished into crowds, slot zombies parting like the Red Sea. Back in Chicago, Fallout crashed, Summit scrubbed, Kane fled to a Gulf Stream, but our partial leak scorched the net. Mindgate trending, protests clogging DC Elena from her cage, lawyered up with Kane's firm, countersuit alleging my co-conspiracy. Mark and I fortified, him in therapy for dysphoria, me in depositions dodging vigilante tags. But intimacy fractured, nights tangled in sheets, his touch Lena's, my responses haunted by Jake's echo. I love you still, he murmured, but doubt poisoned it. Was forgiveness swap-proof, or just another illusion? The climax brewed in court, Elena's trial, Dirksen packed like a Black Friday sale. She took the stand in my body, gaunt but defiant, auburn hair pinned severe. Finley McAllister orchestrated it all, she claimed, voice mine laced with ice. Framed me to cover her husband's sins. Mark was the monster. I tried to save him. Gasps rippled, exhibits flashed, forged emails, my hacks, twisted as malice. Mark testified next, Lena's frame trembling. She lies. I betrayed Finley, but Voss pulled the trigger, literal and neural. Cross-exam gutted him, his affair logs, glitch memos, the dosed wine. Jurors wavered, headlines screamed, he said. She swapped. My turns sealed the pyre. Under oath, I laid it bare. The burial, the mirror horror, the kills in code and conscience. I took lives to reclaim mine. Controversial? Damn right. But justice isn't polite, it's a gut punch. The judge sustained objections, but truth landed. Deliberation hours, guilty on all. Conspiracy, manslaughter, neural assault. Elena's scream as they cuffed her, my hands on her wrists, echoed final. But victory soured swift. Mark, post-verdict, confessed the unconfessable. He'd known of Echo 2.0, pitched Kane himself during a business trip. Thought it'd protect us. Wealth, safety. Then it spiraled. Betrayal's knife twisted final. I walked him to the L, Lena's eyes pleading. End it, I said, handing the delete code. For both our sakes. He nodded, kissed my cheek, soft, foreign, and vanished into the L's maw. Mercy or murder? The debate I'd sparked now consumed me. Months post-trial, Chicago thawed into a hesitant spring, tulip blooms in Grant Park mocking the frost in my veins. Elena's conviction stuck, 20 to life in a supermax wired for neural dampeners, her lawyer's appeals drowning in public scorn. Apex's carcass picked clean by class actions. Tomas's suit netting millions for victims. Ruiz Family Foundation launched scholarships for Southside coders. Maria called it your legacy, Finley. Over pozole in her sunlit kitchen, but legacy felt like a chain, heavy with the swapped souls I'd shuffled. Mark's deletion haunted deepest. A button clicked in a Berwyn garage, his echo winking out like a snuffed candle. No body to bury, just a waveform flatline on a screen. Lena's husk donated anonymous to Johns Hopkins. Grief ambushed in mundane moments. A South Side mural of neural webs. A Tribune op-ed debating ecoethics. Hero or hubris? Pundits split. Me as cautionary tale or caped crusader. My displacements, decried as extrajudicial or exalted as equity. Book offers flooded. Netflix pitched a series. I passed. Truth's stranger, bloodier. But freedom rang hollow. Mirrors still startled. My reflection whispering Jake.
Elena?
You? Ravi resurfaced. Settled in Toronto with a barista girlfriend and a podcast on tech dystopias. Kane's cornered. He Skyped. Pixels grainy over Georgian Bay. Holed up in Monaco, but Interpol's netting. Your Vegas stunt lit the fuse. EU bans on neural tech incoming. Schadenfreude soured quick. Kane wasn't the apex, just a node in a web spanning Langley to Shenzhen. Whispers of black market echoes persisted. Oligarchs swapping into starlets, spies into assets. My counter? A non-profit, Neural Rights Watch, bootstrapped from Tomas's windfall. We lobbied in Springfield, testified in D.C., armed activists with open-source detectors for swap signatures. Maria ran ops, her fire unquenched. I consulted, voiced the velvet blade. Tension lingered in shadows. Paranoia a constant hum. Late-night jogs in Lincoln Park, I'd scan for tales, earbuds piping podcasts on psyops. One dusk, it cracked, a black SUV idling curbside, tinted windows like voids. Heart slamming, I bolted alleys, lungs burning, emerging at a precinct with Reyes waiting, his retirement party ditched for my SOS. Kane loyalist, he grunted over donuts in the bullpen. Amateur. But message clear. They remember. Protection detail followed, subtle, a plainclothes in my coffee line, but trust eroded. Was every stranger a swapper? Every glitch a ghost? The reversal twist hit like a sucker punch, courtesy of a manila envelope slid under my door. No postmark, just my name in block letters. Inside, a USB and a note. Truth echoes eternal. M. Mark?
Impossible.
Trembling, I plugged in. Files cascaded, not apexes but personal. Our wedding vows digitized, his therapy logs from before the affair, a video time-stamped post-swap. Him in Harlan's rags, filming shaky on a flip phone. Thin if you see this. I didn't dose you. Elena lied. It was mutual, her idea to frame Tomas, but I confessed to you in therapy. You forgot? Or chose not to hear? The log played, my voice pre-swap mid-session. Mark, accidents happen. We move on. But deeper cuts. My firm's pro bono on Tomas? A favor for Elena, quid pro quo for Mark's intro. I'd buried the connection. Ambitious blinders on. Reversal gutted me. Mark the pawn. Me the enabler? No. Complicit. We'd both danced with devils, my lawyering laundering apex of sins, his code the glitter. The affair? Sparked by my late nights too, resentment festering unspoken. Elena hadn't stolen us. We'd handed her the keys. The notes P.S. Delete me to forget. Or live with it. I burned the drive in the brownstone sink, flames licking plastic, but truth scarred permanent. Climax revisited in a hearing, congressional probe on Echo, me subpoenaed as key witness. C-SPAN lights blinded, senators posturing like peacocks. Ms. McAllister, drawled a Texas drawl from judiciary. Your actions saved lives, or took them. Jake Harlan, Curtis the veteran, collateral in your crusade. I leaned to the mic, voice steady as Lake Michigan chop. Senators, power corrupts absolutely, neural or not. I crossed lines because the system wouldn't. Feds asleep while Apex played God. Harlan enabled, Curtis paid. Controversial?
Yes.
Necessary? In a world where bodies are commodities, damn right. Gasps, applause, debate ignited, bills drafted for consciousness rights. But the personal pyre burned hotter. Visiting Elena in Supermax, steel doors clanging, her in my face but hollowed. I sought closure. You won, she rasped, chains rattling. Mark's gone, Kane's dust.
But you?
You're me now, haunted, hollow. Her eyes, my eyes, gleamed malice. The swap changed nothing. We were always thieves. I walked out, wind off the prison yard whipping tears, realizing the twist's cruelest cut. No heroes, just survivors swapping sins. Ending?
Nota id Vow.
I sold the brownstone, relocated to a Wicker Park walk-up, smaller mine. Whiskey returned, tail thumping forgiveness. Dates flickered, dinners with a Tribune reporter, sparks but no fire, trust a casualty. Neural Watch thrives. Tomas Dean at a community college, Maria a mom with a law degree.
Me?
I write, memoir half done, truths unvarnished. Happy? In fragments, sun rises over the skyline, runs without phantoms. Tragic? In the what-ifs, Mark redeemed, Jake spared, Elena humanized. Readers will argue, vigilante vindicated or villain veiled.
Me?
I live the gray, echoes fading but never silent. Revenge didn't heal, it honed. And in America's grind, hustle, heartbreak, high rises, that's the real swap, from victim to vector, carrying the dark forward. What lingers? That first hook's echo. Bury the man, steal a skin, unravel the world. Shocking still, controversial as hell. But necessary? In a nation of swapped dreams, where power puppeteers the poor, ask Tomas, ask the ghosts. I'd do it again. Maybe.